This short and true story represents the summary of my school and working life from beginning days of my life migrated to United States till recent years. Sadly, there are some landmarks building that I used to work no longer existed, abandoned, destroyed, or remodernized as I cannot recapture the images in original. But that's one of my dream creating pieces of my life story from the past and years of memories that I have been through and mesmerized how times go by, and hereby opportunity to present in our SIN 111 class's final project. This is World Hotel, located in Chinatown, as my first ever job, a week after I arrived in New York. I left home from Staten Island 10:30 p.m. to get their midnight shift. I took bus, ferry, and walking to Manhattan. As a new stranger to New York City as I walked at night, I had to keep my eyes out as if someone may have smacked me behind. At the same time, mixed emotion that amazed by lights of high-rise office buildings. I had a thought and dream that someday I would like to work in these buildings. This is Wendy's restaurant at Forest Avenue in Staten Island. Now restaurant was renovated and totally modernized. I started there with sweeping floor and cleaning windows, then moved to kitchen area learning French fries to catch up with customer orders. Most of the employees are middle or high school kids, but I love working there because I had fun with them as well as I got my earning. I worked their evening shift a couple of months as I was taking computer and typewriting classes in the morning. This is Staten Island Employment Education Consortium at 28 Bay Street, where I took computer applications and typewriting classes as well, finding a job for me in Procter & Gamble. That organization was sponsored by Social Security Administration. Now that office was no longer existed and empty now. At that time there was no Windows operating system existed, but only old Apple Macintosh, was introduced and using monochrome monitors. I guess these programs and classes were step up for my future career. Later, with help of Staten Island Employment Consortium, I got a job in Procter & Gamble Manufacturing located at Port Ivory of Staten Island. Now that building was abandoned, as you see, and company moved to New Jersey. I worked till midnight and it was pretty labor intensive unloading empty detergent boxes from truck to belt system. It was cold in winter with open door. We got only 10 minutes break every an hour. There were only 6 or 7 workers and I was the only small Asian guy and the rest were big African American guys. I remembered well one day there was a snowstorm late night and no buses running at midnight to go home. They all had cars but I did not, so I requested one guy to drive me back home. First, he was reluctant, but finally he agreed with paying him for his beer. I lasted there a few weeks as I got another job offer. But that was unforgettable experience for me as part of my life. College of Staten Island is always in my heart. I took undergraduate courses in both Sunnyside and St. George campus, but now both no longer in that locations and Michael J. Petride School was named Sunnyside campus location. New 204 acres Willowbrook campus was developed and completed in 1994 with state-of-the-art buildings and largest college under City University of New York. College of Staten Island was my first educational institution. Then after 36 years later, I am still with its program now. I had a lot memories with school. This is St. John's University. I had my MBA in early mid-90s. Though I registered accounting and finance in Staten Island campus, but I also had classes in Queens campus, which is a lot bigger, carpooled with a few friends. But here showing only Staten Island campus. I studied part-time as I worked full-time, but later semesters I took full-time classes. There was the class I would never forget. I took a short summer class with one of the toughest professor in campus. He failed many students and some said mean, but I knew he was good professor. He was meticulously focused in every words of your answers. I was normally graded never below B+, but I got a lot of pressure in 1.5 month semester while working full-time and received bad grade assignments. Finally I withdraw this class, which never happened to my life. But I was determined to improve myself better and took the same course, with same professor. Met and had conversation with him to get advice for my study. He referred me some books and even lent me good exercise book, and I practiced a lot to improve myself. Finally, I turned around my withdrawal grade F to get back A. I felt great what I did, and that's one of many lessons for my life. You may have faced tough situations in life, but never give up, keep trying to get better yourself. This is Spelman Hall, our business administration building, and I was in and out there numerous times. This is our main library in Staten Island campus. I spent time a lot of reading there and sometimes fell asleep too. There were no internet available before my graduation, except email with text environment. Only graphic internet available at that time was New York Research Library at 42nd and 5th Avenue. Dinosaur Pioneer search engine Mosaic was so slow that it took 7 minutes to see one life picture with line by line. I can't imagine how fast these days with wireless 5G and AI mass information at split second. Anyhow, I am saddened to learn that St. John's University and Staten Island campus will be closed in spring of 2024. This is used to be One World Trade Center. I landed a job at International Bank in that building, started as accounting clerk. That was a big leap for me to establish my career as well as good foundation for learning office job in corporation. We were in 35th floor and the view was awesome. After 9/11, the landmark was redeveloped and totally changed. Though I was in Midtown when 9/11 occurred, I was there 1993 when first time bomb exploded at parking garage. As financial district, that location was always busy and I worked there about 5 years. That's rare photo with my colleague at the bank. I appreciated the bank for giving me opportunity to grow. This one located in prime area of Midtown on Ave of America. Japanese commercial real estate company, which own many landmark building in city. It is beautiful building and underground concourse is all connected with neighbor building and part of Rockefeller Group. I worked there, started with financial analyst to senior financial analyst with responsibility of funding and treasury. I had great exposure dealing with other prominent corporations and gained many financial experience. Nature of work and situation, sometimes we need to stay late night, but they compensates us and morale was quite high. Once my dream of working high-rise building came true at that point. This is Deutsche Bank located at 60 Wall Street. It was a big and solid building, but now empty and company moved to Midtown Manhattan. That German bank is well known in financial industry and corporate culture is quite stringent but took care of its own employees. I was responsible for management reporting and supporting budget. Accuracy is a must with no tolerance for reporting to senior management. We always stayed late at night but they usually arranged transportation back home and meal. It was very convenient for me to commute as walking distance from Staten Island Ferry. After working at Deutsche Bank, I've got job offer from Daiwa Capital Market America, located across the street from Water Street. Though it is Japan's second biggest brokerage firm, most of the employees are local people. Their corporate culture is very friendly and most of us are happy working there. I was responsible for management reporting for senior management such as board reports, monthly, quarterly with variance analysis and forecasting as well as yearly budget for company. There is no tolerance for errors and checking repeatedly within limited time frame. At that time, we stayed late sometimes almost midnight. Other than that, we had less stressful time. Here are photos of building when Hurricane Sandy before flooded our office. Later water's residue in elevator and we have to move various offices for a couple of months. Some went to Bloomberg offices in city and we moved to Teleport in Staten Island as we have backup site. I have been working there almost a decade and retired from there. I had great memories and thanks for nurtured me as well as opportunity to serve to the company.